Welcome back to a brand new episode of Charm City Beat. The draft is behind us. We are ready to really start the new season, and we're going to recap the draft, guys. Um, Shout out to anybody that has watched our live stream. It's probably the longest live stream we've ever done for a draft. I will say it was pretty fun.
Fun.
Um, huh?
It was fun.
It was tons of fun. But some quick non-draft related news: the Ravens have picked up Adofe Owe's fifth-year option, which comes in at 13.251 million. Rashad Bateman apparently wasn't eligible for a fifth-year option on his rookie contract because he's only been credited with two accrued seasons. That's a result of him starting last season's training camp on the DNR list. But of course, we know he was re-signed.
Which
Um,
explains why he was resigned.
exactly. But yeah, no. On to the draft though. Talk about it, guys. What were you guys' thoughts on our draft picks?
I thought they did a really good job. I think every pick you could argue was a really good pick for a different bunch of different reasons, a bunch of different steals. I thought there was one surprise pick, the quarterback, but you need a backup quarterback, someone who you can trust. Lamar Jackson has proven several times that he can't make it through a full season, and so that's a position of need potentially. And they did let the backup leave. So I mean, I thought it was a good draft. I thought they got a lot of value, and I think the pundits thought so too. I think they got an A and a lot
Yeah,
of draft grades.
Ross.
Yeah. Like I said, my confusion came around 5, 6, running back, then quarterback. I knew we needed a running back. As I mentioned many times, I wanted Braylon Allen, which I think would have been perfect. He could have learned from Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And then next year, he could have possibly been the Thunder to Keaton Mitchell's Lightning. They more or less seem like they went with more of a other Lightning to Derrick Henry's Thunder this year, with Justice Hill still being kind of there to spell with the uncertainty of Keaton Mitchell when he
Mm-hmm.
might be back. And like I said, quarterback, I mean, 8-1. And watching the video when they called him, sounded like he was the one guy that quarterback coach wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's who we wanted, it's like, yeah, I mean, who am I to argue? I sit on a couch and talk about this on the internet. What do I know?
Yeah.
But no, like Jordan said, everyone seemed to like our draft. And many steals apparently.
Yeah. No, I felt great about the draft. After the first round, we got the cornerback. Second round, we followed up with Rosengarten. And then the third round, we got Adisa Isaac, which we've talked about on the show numerous times, where Owe and Ojabo, this is their proven year. Hopefully, this will be the reason why we don't have to pick up veterans and, waste money on that, and maybe we'll get, fill some other needs. But I think overall, once those three spots were filled up, it was pretty much like, okay, now we can have some fun. Pick the best player on the board. And I truthfully feel that way. You got a round four receiver in Devontae Walker. I feel real good about him. Again, boosting that wide receiver room that some may say could use some, a spark. I don't know. Who knows? Yet Ross, you've been known. But no, I felt really good. We got TJ Tampa out of Iowa. We did get the running back, but overall, I felt good about the draft, man. That honestly to me, and we're gonna be talking about this probably in 2 or 3 years. I think it could go down as one of the better drafts in Ravens history, honestly. Just the way everything fell to us.
That's the vibe I'm starting to feel and hear around the league. Just people are like quietly impressed by the Ravens draft. And they
Mm-hmm.
weren't really drafting for need, but it seemed to hit perfectly. Like we came in, they needed a corner, they needed a lineman, they needed an edge rusher, and they needed a receiver, and they got
Yeah,
all four in a row. And they did it again. Another good corner in TJ Tampa, who I think is probably the steal of this team, will probably end up being one of the steals of the draft. But I mean, you can't really argue with these picks. They're really good, and I love the Rosengarten pick. It's a guy that
love it.
is going to be able to move. He's quick. I think he was the fastest offensive lineman in the draft, and he wanted to play for Lamar Jackson. It's a guy that's coming from a team with a national championship game, protecting the guy that went to protecting another athletic quarterback, the guy who went to Washington. So it's like this is exciting to see what the Ravens put
Not,
together.
not only was he protecting him, but he was technically his blind side blocker.
Yeah.
They moved him to the right side to block his blind side, which I basically heard someone describe him not so much as, a right tackle or left tackle, but he is a blind side tackle, which that's exactly what we're going to need in a couple years.
Couple of years. Shit, you're talking.
And who the hell knows? We saw Lamar earlier. We saw Lamar at one point this last season against the Dolphins drop back and hold and stand in left-handed position.
Yeah.
Who knows what Lamar's going to do back there? But no, it's him. Apparently drafted the only Michigan State player, center, which everyone was wondering that, but then everyone realized, oh wait, we technically don't have a backup center.
And it's round 7, so anybody asking questions is just like, do you not know what a depth chart is?
And wasn't Geno Stone a 7th-round safety? So I just feel like
He was up there, yeah.
that they get these guys late that I don't think we think anything of, and they probably won't think highly of the start. They'll be depth pieces, but then you're going to end up seeing Nick Samac in the game, like, oh yeah, damn it, they developed him.
Yeah.
And I think it's exciting to see the Ravens do this. But I mean, I think just getting the guys they got, specifically Wiggins at the top, who I think a lot of people thought there's no way in the hell he'll drop to the Ravens at 30. And we talked about this on draft night. But the fact that I think 12 or 13 offensive people went in a row, it's just like the draft board fell to them and they didn't have to reach for any of their guys. And I think that played true through the entire draft. I doubt they really got burned really at any point.
No, and it honestly felt like that way, even as a fan watching and following this, over the weekend. It literally seemed like just the perfect storm for Eric DeCosta to just do what he does best. And to me, this is now what we have 3 drafts under Eric DeCosta, 4 maybe, I don't know.
For 2020 was his first one.
2020 didn't really exist.
No, well, I thought
2019,
was,
right?
Yeah, 19 was
19 was his. So yeah, he's been here now. 6 years. This is 6 drafts, and I dare say after the last 6 drafts, Ozzie Newsome is great, but Ozzie Newsome crawled so Eric DeCosta could sprint, bro. Like Eric DeCosta is proving himself as a genius. He doesn't trade. He holds his spot.
That's the other thing. Not one trade. They did not move once.
None.
When's the last time the Ravens have not moved once, up or down?
Bro, this is where we're at now. And it's great. No, it's exciting.
We didn't touch next year's draft picks.
Mm-hmm. It's
weird.
Again, our front office, man. If they don't go to the Hall of Fame, him and Ozzie together is just a duo. I think Ozzie's already there, but just as a GM, as a front office, it's incredible.
Yeah, Bill Belichick even had words like the Ravens are never out of contention because of the moves if we're not, and they're not finished yet. They're going to bring guys in off the street. They're going to go out and probably make a trade here or there. And by the time the season, we'll complain about the offensive line all summer, and then the fucking week before the season starts, they're going to be like, oh, they just picked up Tennessee's left guard. And it's like, oh, okay, now we're ready to play. Like, that's what he does. Like, he'll get a Clowney with like a week to go, and then he'll sign a Van Noy 2 weeks into the season, and then somebody will come back from IR, and it's just what the Ravens do every year. And they're constantly making this team better. And that's really awesome. And they keep the guys that are really good. Mm-hmm. And so they get paid, and then to repeat the process. And you don't have something like what's happening in Denver, where they're paying Russell Wilson to play for the Steelers. It's insane. It's insanity after trading all those picks for him. Like,
again, what? Who signs these trades? Like, again, good for Pittsburgh, man. Good for them. What? Yeah. No, I again, just looking back at it, just such a good job. So real talk. Was there any picks that went elsewhere that you thought would have been a great fit for the Ravens?
Ross alluded to it with the running back. I think there was a couple there that went in a row where we were just like, are we going to get this guy? We're going to get that guy. And they didn't get either of them. Mm-hmm. And I'd still like who they got instead, but I thought they could have gotten a running back. Right. But I think when you sign Derrick Henry rather, to a large deal, and he's still got a little more tread on the tires, I think they're like, it's a position where guys don't last that long anyway, and the Ravens go through fucking running backs like I don't know an analogy, but they don't give a shit. Like the
Yeah,
system is with Lamar Jackson, and I think they're just gonna have some fun with Lamar and Derrick Henry this year, and then worry about the future running back in the future. Maybe it's Mitchell, maybe it's not, maybe it's someone else. I don't think they care. I mean, Dalvin Cook is a phone call away.
yeah. No, I Ross.
I mean, maybe some of the tackles. I know Gerald, you wanted Mims.
Yeah,
Definitely wanted him to drop.
yep. I
But
definitely wanted to.
I mean, I think because obviously because he didn't, I think we possibly got a better option, a more
Definitely,
impact. As much as you wanted boring, we got a more impact option,
that's
and
true.
we still filled our need later on. But it almost sounded like though Wiggins was their guy no matter what.
Makes sense.
Multiple people have said he was your number one on the board.
That was my number one, if you guys remember. I mean,
It,
the fact they got TJ Tampa.
funny enough, I had no idea who he was because no one thought he was going to be here. So
That's
anyone I saw was never mocking him to the Ravens. So
Yeah.
I never bothered figuring who he was. So when I saw him get picked, I was kind of like, "Who? This guy's good." And when I watched the video, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay."
he's a monster. I like TJ Tampa because he was, I think the pundits had him going like 55 overall, like early second day type of guy.
Hmm.
And we got him in what, the fourth round,
Yep,
like
fourth round.
way late. And I think that's a
Late
guy that's
fourth
going to
round.
come back is be like when Gunnar Henderson got picked by the Orioles. Like he shouldn't have gone that low. He ended up going that low, and we got him. And he might turn into a Pro Bowl corner. We might have gotten two starting corners in this draft, boys.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I think again, we're always talking by the end of September how thin we are at secondary. And again, like you said, these are two star quality cornerbacks behind an all pro and a breakout star who we hope has the same success. And I mean, when you just factor in that, plus you got guys, who the hell do we still have anymore at corner? But again, with those four alone, shit, that's confidence right there.
Agreed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know you don't remember their names because always heard. So
Jay
Pepe
Armour
and
Davis.
J. Armour Davis.
Yeah.
Another fourth round pick.
That's another fourth, huh? Yeah. Hopefully he has a good season. I mean, again, you want everybody to have a good season.
You just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the key. And again, the Ravens, the style of football they play is a very aggressive, rough game.
The curse. They need to change numbers. They're both 22-5. Those numbers are cursed in Baltimore.
Them be facts. That
Jimmy Smith always was hurt, and everything's getting punished by who wears 5 because of Flacco.
yeah, I mean the Flacco curse. God, we're gonna look back on this in like 10 years. How accurate was the Flacco curse?
Yeah.
Oh man. No, next stage of the off season has already begun though with the undrafted free agents. Who do we got? Who do we pick up? It looks like we got a few Maryland guys. That's cool.
The safety, it's funny enough, it's the safety I wanted in the draft.
Really?
Well, as you well, I love when they can take Maryland players.
Love
Ravens
it.
don't like to
You
do
know.
it, even though it worked the one time they drafted a receiver from Maryland.
Really?
But no, from what I heard is he was one of the more rated safety, especially later in the draft. So
Yeah.
getting him, and we love safeties around here.
No, true. I mean, you can't never have enough of those, especially when you're running a 3 safety package. Which I do wonder if they're going to be able to do that this season. Again, Geno Stone was a luxury that I don't think we're going to end up missing, but it was great to have when we had it. You know what I mean?
It's just how can we trust Williams to stay healthy? Because if he gets hurt, the shit's gonna get tested immediately. Because I think it
Yeah.
really derails what you're able to do with a Hamilton. Because when you've got a fully healthy defense, Hamilton is a game wrecker. And he's still a game wrecker when he's not, but if otherwise he's playing more back than I think you want him to be doing. He can't do certain things like shadow just the tight end, blitz a lot because he's got to defend the deep pass. I think they'll address that regardless. I think they know that they've got a liability back there. And
Yeah.
Williams, he seems to get hurt in every single year. We'll see what they
Yeah.
do.
I mean, really think about it again.
And Stevens was a safety, so there's an option there. Sorry.
No, I'm right there with you on that one, and that might actually help us if Stevens does have to go back and play back. Play some safety. We do have two starting corners potentially from this draft alone. So I imagine a more mid-round safety not being picked was with that in mind. I would like to believe that, but yeah, what do I know?
So from Morgan State.
What'd you say?
We saw undrafted free agent from Morgan State.
That's awesome.
And we got Kadri Ismail's kid, who I
Yes, we
remember
invited him to
covering.
training camp. Yeah.
I remember
That's
covering him in
insane.
high school in football, which is kind of cool, and track.
Really?
Yeah. And I
That's
don't remember him being all that good. Like he was good, but he was like, I think it was 1A class.
yeah.
I think this is almost a courtesy play by the Ravens more than anything.
Oh yeah, I mean he's like I say he's not even technically an undrafted free agent. He's just invited to. He's what they call a rookie camp body.
He's
a
like when
favorite.
Ripken got signed by the Ironbirds, his son, and
Just-
it's like he's not going anywhere.
Just yeah, that's why Ryan Rickman is now doing radio.
I mean, yeah, I mean he's
But-
definitely probably good enough to be a pro, but
Mhm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, then also, I mean that's the same thing with the quarterback out of Florida we brought in. He's to throw the ball because only one quarterback's going to be a rookie mini camp, and it's going to be the drafted guy. Someone's got to throw the ball. So for a wide receiver not being in need, these 8 wide receivers we brought in as undrafted free agents.
Yeah, you never know what can happen. Somebody's name might take them somewhere.
But we need bodies on practice squad, especially the new rules of the practice squad. I can bring people up.
Yeah. Let's go across Bird Ravens walk. Let's go over to those. Sealing up that Yankees series victory. Huge. They lost yesterday on my father-in-law's birthday, which he was there. But they did what they had to do today to finish it off. So shout out to the O's for real, for real. O's are looking great. O's are looking fucking amazing. Number one right now, sitting pretty in May. That's awesome. It's hard not to be excited about him right now.
One loss in the AL East. And I believe it's since some point last year, they are now 12-0-4 in series against the AL East. So they have only won or split series with the AL East.
That's incredible.
And Bradish is back. And from what I heard, looked amazing, except for one fluky play in the first inning would have gone a little farther.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad he's
Eames
back.
is back.
It's a boost.
Hopefully Grayson's is just a little soreness, a little extra soreness, and he'll be back in a few weeks.
What were you saying, Jordan?
I'm saying it was a boost having these pitchers come back. I think it's a little punch in the arm for this team that they weren't dragging, but they lost 2 of 3 or 2 of 4 to the Oakland Athletics, and it's like, that's a team you shouldn't be losing to at home, and then they turn around and take 3 or 4 from the Yankees. I think was really fun to watch. So a roller coaster of a week as they get ready for what's a much harder part of their schedule now. They got through their little weak part. Now they're playing teams like the Rays are coming up, Diamondbacks are coming up on Mother's Day weekend. They were in the World Series last year. And so I think this is where you're going to see this team. They're out to open water now. And so I think I'm excited to see how they do. Because that bullpen's a hell of a mess. I mean, Kimbrel essentially got benched last week.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how they do that moving forward.
I mean, outside looking in, I think, again, sealing up the Yankees series was definitely the confidence booster that they probably need going into this part. It's just exciting from here. But any last thoughts before we log off? Actually, one more thing. We haven't given a game ball in a very long time, since probably the divisional round. This goes to the Ravens scouting department, not only finding the players drafted, but the undrafted free agents, the guys that are building the team. Again, one of the greatest coaches of all time, said the Ravens are never out of it. We're on coaches' minds all the time because of them. So big shout out to them. Game ball goes to y'all. No, though, any last thoughts then before we go offline?
I really don't. I'm kind of speechless this week. I think it's just been a really good couple of weeks for Baltimore. The Orioles are winning. The Ravens had another fantastic football draft, and now I'm just excited for mini camp and training camp. And I think the schedule releases in a couple of weeks, and then you've got NCAA football is going to be coming out, and I'm going to throw Madden in the trash and never play it ever again. And that's just what we're here for. It's going to be incredible.
We're definitely going to do a game review on that, actually. And that will be
Yeah.
coming whenever the hell that game comes out. When is it coming out?
August, right? And it can
Yeah, that makes
ain't far along.
You won't trust EA.
I don't trust them. I just
You won't play their Madden, but you're saying people that make Madden are making NCAA, and you think it's going to be fine.
You can
I just want to play
your own players,
college
Ross. It's gonna be.
Don't be a bitch about it.
It's EA. They haven't done anything right with a football game in years.
I mean, here's the thing. Because we can talk about this a little bit. I think, again, we all know, I mean, to a degree, NCAA was a different game than Madden. You could feel that. And I don't think they're going to lose that feeling outside of the fact you're playing in some of the greatest college stadiums. If you're a college football fan, like me and Jordan are big college football guys, it's a dream come true, especially if you grew up playing on the PS2 or the PlayStation or PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking excited.
Like Texas versus Oklahoma, like
Yeah.
Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State. Like any like Big Ten game, like Michigan versus Michigan State for the Paul Bunyan Trophy, like all that stuff that comes with it, like the trophies and the awards and literally every single game matters, Ross. If you lose to Mid Tennessee State week 2, you're not making the fucking playoffs. And there's playoff. There's a playoff.
Why in a few years they're going to have 30 teams make the playoffs because every year the last team out's going to complain that they didn't make it in.
But you can lose.
They're already expanding to 12 teams coming up
in the NFL and still make it. For college, like if you lose to Notre Dame week 8, like forget about it. You're not.
Also, have fun recruiting against all these schools when they're paying them way more on their NIL deals.
That's what's going to be great.
You're getting away from Madden because you don't have to use salary cap, but guess what? You're just going to have NIL deals to deal with.
I am curious how the NIL deals are going to play in the game. I got to give this kid a
$1,000 a week from his car wash.
Oh my god,
it'll be good.
Yeah,
and the jerseys, so many uniform choices. Some the music.
Yeah,
Rocky Top.
Like just hearing the band play when you start a game up instead of hearing whatever the fuck EA paid some independent artists to make their song.
Drums.
Like, I'm excited to hear the Maryland fight song when I turn on Madden.
Yeah,
like, that's
it's a snake pit.
Oh god, no, this is gonna be exciting. I'm excited.
Gerald, Terrapins.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man.
And here's the thing also about NCAA. We all know Madden's glitchy as fuck until about November anyways. So if I really wanted to get fancy, I'll buy NCAA in August. And then by the time I'm done my campus legend after 4 fucking years, I'll go buy Madden in November.
Yeah, that's if they can figure out how to do a story mode again, because the story modes in Madden have been crap.
Well,
Campus Legend was always good. They knew how to make that go. If they have the same thought process with these story modes they've been doing, you're going to be some generic guy with some generic story and play like 3 games. Well, lucky you have to play more games because it's a college game, but still.
As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching,
I'm just saying that's my biggest problem with Madden. The last few story modes have sucked.
It's been 10 years, Ross.
It's been 10.
I'm taking Michigan State to the national championship game.
I need Ohio State to win a championship, so we're gonna go that route.
Like I remember when I was playing in 2014. I mean, I remember playing back in the day, and it was like guys that have played in the NFL and then retired since then. Like Carson Palmer was on the front of the cover. And that's what I mean. Like it's such a good game. You don't.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible.
Oh, I agree. It was
Mario Manningham and Mike Hart.
I fully agree. It was one of my favorite games to play. I re-downloaded it many times on a PS3. I think NCAA 12 or whatever was one of the last ones I liked.
Nice.
Madden, I think was that NCAA 3 had Larry Fitzgerald in the front with his Pittsburgh uniform.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm.
Mm.
Then,
No,
oh,
it's gonna be fun. I already know that's gonna be a video. We might even have to play some less because you have Xbox, so I imagine it's gonna be cross-platform. So Ross, you can come get that smoke too.
Man's already cross-platform. I don't know how to do that. If a game company doesn't do cross-platform at this point, then they're just selling themselves short for multiplayer.
BYU in Colorado, BYU Utah, isn't that like the brothers game, whatever?
Hell yeah, BYU versus Utah, the Holy War. Fuck yeah!
Oh,
Can't
holy
wait to
war,
play that
baby!
100 times.
What's left
Oh
of
my
the
god!
Pac-12?
Especially playing in Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo. That's I'm excited because some of these college stadiums are just
They're
absolutely
incredible. They're incredible. Colorado with the backdrop of the
yeah.
mountain.
Again, BYU, another one with the Provo Mountains on
Yeah.
the backdrop. You go for these. This is why I play MLB the Show because it is a beautiful game. I don't think they're going to shortcut a game that hasn't been made in 10 years. And if they do, we'll show them as consumers, hopefully,
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Do you think
NCAA was the only game I ever bought
EA
the night
doesn't
it came
care?
out. I feel like.
Would you say, Jordan? Oh, man. No. Oh, exciting times. One final thought, though, and before we go offline. Is this not? I mean, granted, the fact we don't have a Super Bowl so far, at least in recent years, we don't have a World Series, but we've gotten close in both regards, closer than we've had in many years. Is this not the most exciting time in Baltimore sports?
I
Again,
think.
oh, sorry.
Sorry, go. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say we're sitting pretty and chill as fuck right now. The Ravens, again, great draft, great season before. Orioles sitting at top, like
The only thing I can compare it to is maybe I don't know. 2012, I feel like the Orioles won the wild card and they almost won. They had such a good season, and the Ravens were coming off the AFC Championship loss and then went to the Super Bowl. Like in
yeah,
about a year span, all of that happened. And that was just a really exciting time. I think right now it's like a lot more, but it was like we're kind of good. Where now it's like the Orioles, we know the Orioles are good, and we know the Ravens are probably coming off a really tough championship loss and are probably a better team this year, I think. A little more complete in my mind, a little more knowing what they need to do to win. So I agree with you. I think it's a lot more, I just feel more confident than I did in 2012. I
yeah,
think that was a very demoralizing loss in the championship versus last year. It felt like we're the reason we lost. And it wasn't a Billy Cundiff kick. It was like we just like fucking like didn't
yeah,
play good football, which is a different feeling, if you ask me.
yeah.
Not
No,
heartbreaking at all. It was just sad to watch.
Yeah, because that championship game we won twice. Lee Evans dropped the ball, but Cundiff never has to kick. Cundiff's coming out. All right, this will be fine. We got this. Well, this was last year the AFC. About half of the fourth quarter, we're sitting there like, what
Just
the hell,
frustrating.
the hell are we doing here, guys?
yeah.
We didn't ever have a chance. Like, yeah, we won. No, we just lost. We're like, go.
Just
God.
fell apart.
Because that was a very easy number 1 seed that we earned. Like it didn't feel hard at all. We beat the shit out of the 49ers, and I was like, okay, we're going to Super Bowl. There's no one that can beat this football team. And it's true. Like we had to beat ourselves. We're the only team that can like we have no rivals, I feel like. We just beat the shit out of ourselves.
Yep.
Or like Lamar plays his best versus the best teams. His stats show that. I think part of it is he doesn't care when he plays each one. He just doesn't care. It's the Browns. Like I'll just like jack off for a little bit.
It again, I think all that frustration is going to culminate, I think, into a really good season. I
Yeah.
don't see the Ravens regressing. Again, you don't sign Derrick Henry without a plan of trying to get deep into the playoffs again. I don't care how old he is. He's Derrick Henry. He's first.
He's hungry. He's hungry. I think he's going to lead by example.
Yeah, and
And
he
I
looks
think
great. Like he looks solid. And that again, we're building an offensive line that can do a lot of different things. Yeah, let's go. Another rushing record, shall we?
We also
probably.
can't lose when our third string tight end is coming to the offseason with cornrows.
That's right.
Yeah.
You gotta look up Charlie Collar's new hairdo. Lamar approves.
Wait, what happened again?
Carr has
He's ready to go.
he's got blonde cornrows like he's
Get
a
the fuck
cricket
out! Hold on,
player.
I'm looking up this.
Yeah, just go to any Ravens social media. It's
He's
got
like a cricket player in Tony Hawk.
hey, let's go. It's
Crap pulled up. Oh my god.
I love it.
yeah.
We're blessed. We have the best tight end room in football,
We do.
and I think like we have players. And I say it every time, but
That's
we have
crazy.
talent at every position.
It's a tight
That's
end.
crazy. I wish I could show it on camera. Like again, oh my god, that's hilarious. I hope he keeps it. I hope he keeps it. That's fucking lit. No, we are truly blessed at the tight end room, like you were saying. Again, you have 3 tight ends, 2 of which could probably find a starting job somewhere in the NFL. That's fucking nice. That's a luxury we have. But that does it for our show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is the off season. It is a very busy season. The O's are hot right now. So we will be back for another episode at some point in the near future. So stay tuned for that. And yeah.